Hello there folks, welcome back to Space Engineers. So last time we had a grinding test of this awesome new grinding ship. It kinda sorta worked. I'm going to chalk it up to a terrible failure, even though it kind of did work. The principle was there, but what we're going to do is we're going to completely change how we're going to grind things. Before we were putting mass blocks on it and using gravity, which kind of worked, but there's a lot of flaws to using that method because number one, the mass blocks grind off, and number two, you need to have power, which means you have to have reactors, and those can also grind off. So as soon as those are ground off, whatever you're grinding is going to stop being ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a what's called a 6-axis robot arm. Those are used in military and industrial type applications. Mostly industrial applications, and they have 6 axes that they move on. We're probably not going to actually have a total of 6 axes, but they're those robots that you generally think of when you think of robots that work in manufacturing. Those big arm-looking things that weld stuff. Yeah, those things. So we're going to essentially put one of those on our station here. We're going to make one with some parts we have. We're going to actually probably have to make some parts. We're probably going to use the advanced rotors wherever they're hiding. Yep, we're going to use the advanced rotors because we want to be able to tell what angle we are at. So we're going to be using the advanced rotors. The other rotors work, but they're not as nice. These rotors are closer to what are considered stepper motors. And we're going to be using those for rotating our arms. We're going to just be using probably heavy armor blocks. So in case they get damaged, they don't break off as easily. And we're probably just going to put a robot arm on the side. It'll be very, very similar to what the Canada arm is on the space station or the space shuttle, if you remember that. And what it's going to do is it's going to grab whatever it is that we're grinding with landing gear. Probably landing gear. It would make the most sense because it's the easiest to use. And then it will slowly lower it down onto the grinding pad. And we won't have to worry about any of the crazy finicky mass blocks and stuff rolling around, because it'll all be attached via landing gear to the station itself. So we're actually going to get a start on that. We're going to show you how to make one of those, and I do believe we're going to need some. Well, we're going to need steel plate. We take steel plate to lay these down. It takes steel plate to lay down the heavy armor blocks. And then we're probably going to need some interior plate or steel plate for the landing gear. Steel plate for the landing gear as well. And that will also give our control station in here another use, because we're going to have a whole bunch of different control options for the arm. So right now we have a total of 90 different possible options that we can choose. If you look at the bottom of the screen, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Those are the different options that we can use for increasing, decreasing angles and degrees and stuff. Ooh, there's a private sail off there. Anyhow, that's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to make this in its entirety. Hopefully by the end of next episode. It's probably going to take a bit. But anyhow, enough talking. Let's actually get started with the build. And usually on the base, the first axis is going to be... well, we'll show you. And here, yes, we want to grab some steel plates out of here. And if we don't have any steel plates, we're going to have to make some. I know we have some steel plates in our grinding ship, but we probably should make some more at any rate. So assembler number 4. We're going to make a whole bunch of these because we need a whole bunch of these. We also need some more construction components. We're probably going to need some large steel tubes, some girders, computers. Just make all the things because we need all of the things. Alright. Probably won't need more than 100 to lay out what we're going to be doing, so let's just grab what we can. There's some 4 there. Where's the rest of the steel plates? There's 1. There they are, hiding over there. Alright. Now we have to find a location to put this robot arm. I'm thinking we'll want to put it on this side so we can see it when we are using our control station. So perhaps if we place it off in this direction. This will probably be fine. And we'll use this as the base. Also, we should probably get, we're actually going to use some heavy armor blocks for this because I don't want it breaking off, because that would be bad. And let's lay this down here and there. Okay, that's going to be the base of it. And now let's bring our advanced rotors in. The first rotor is going to be placed like this, so it can rotate around. And then the next axis is going to be 90 degrees to that. And then we're also going to have another axis that's going to be the same as this, and then one final axis that's like the next one that we're going to place down. Okay. Actually, is everything set? Okay, yes. Now let's get the blocks down. And we want to make sure that this is tall enough that we can grab things and put them in the center, or close to the center. It doesn't really matter, but we want to make sure that we can grind it all. So we'll do this, and then we'll put, whoop, that is not at all what I wanted. I wanted this one. Yeah, there we go. And this is actually going to be very similar, if you remember, to the mech that I built back in the original survival series. It had rotors like this. There's also one more thing that we could do. We could actually put a cockpit with a couple of thrusters at the tip of this, and then we could actually control the entire robot arm via thrusters, but I'm not so thrilled about that idea. Alright, and now we have one more that we're going to put right there. And we're going to have to make sure the braking torque is fairly high on this, because this is going to be a relatively heavy robot arm. Alright, and finally, last one. Actually, if we were to make a proper 6-axis robot, we would put another one right here, and then another one off to the side like that. But we'll just put one off to the side like that, because that'll do everything that we need it to do. And then that will also have fewer things that can possibly be controlled and go wrong. So now we also need to put the landing gear on it. There we go. So that's essentially what the robot arm is going to look like. It's going to be a little bit funky looking, but we're going to be able to control it. We're going to be able to grab our ship wherever it is. Our ship is down there. We'll be able to grab it, and we'll be able to move it down and get it ground up that way. Alright. Let's actually start building this now. We are going to need some motors. Definitely a lot of motors, because rotors, well, they require motors. So let's build what we can. Okay, looks like we built what we could. We need large steel tubes, motors, and stuff. Let's grab what components we did grind so far. Might as well use them. So what do we have inside of our grinders? Well, actually, let's hide the empties. There we go. That's the stuff. So we have some of that, some of that, some of that. Grab some computers. We need some large steel tubes. We need all of the things. Probably actually don't need metal grids, but we'll take it anyways in case there's anything that needs it. Probably gonna need, yep, more large steel tubes, more computers. Looks like we'll be able to finish one of these heavy armor blocks. Nope. I lied. Alright, so let's go grab what we were making. Make sure there's nothing else that I can throw in here. Okay, so motors and construction components we can throw in here. There we go. There we go, and there we go. So we actually have all the motors that we need. We just need large steel tubes, computers, and steel plate. That much we can do. In fact, we might be able to get this thing all set up. I don't know if we're going to be able to get the action groups set up, but we'll get as much done as we possibly can in the time that we have. We're also running fairly low on energy, so we'll have to take that into account. We don't need motors anymore, so drop you in there. Don't need you. Don't need you. Don't need you. Don't really need you. Don't need you either. Now let's look for steel plates, because that's the thing that we need the most. Also, we need some of those. And we also need computers, so let's go to production. Assembler number 1, we're going to have you make a bunch of computers. Assembler number 2, do the same thing. Alright. Well, once those girders are done, it's going to start making computers, so we're going to be all set. But we do need to grab some energy before we run out. So I think we're going to have to hop inside of our ship. Oh, wow. We just went really, really quick there for a second for some reason. Alright, do we have anything else? Okay, so we just need one more computer, and that's going to be done. Advanced rotors done. Oxygen is also low, so we'll hop back in this ship because it has both oxygen and it has energy. And okay, we're almost, once it drops below 5%, then we're gonna probably make it our top priority to do. Okay, it's time. Wow, we dropped a lot quicker than I thought. Alright. Where is my door? My door is on the other side, I believe. And there it is. Looks like I left one of the airlock doors open. Whoops. Turn the jetpack off to save a little bit of energy. Turn off our light to save even more energy. And here we are inside our ship. Just in time. Actually, we don't have any oxygen hooked up to this. I thought I had oxygen hooked up to this. I guess I don't. But we do have an oxygen generator. We'll throw in our oxygen tank. It'll get refilled and we'll take that back. And we'll be just fine. Hold on. Okay. Now, where is our oxygen generator? That's our oxygen tank. Oxygen generator's on the other side. Can't quite reach it. So, I'm going to have to put this in here, so actually, you know what? No. Oxygen. There we go. Oxygen generator, put that in there. Fill it up, please. Please? Oxygen tank? How about that? Let's go to production. Let's find our oxygen tank. Refill bottles. Auto refill, yes. Do such things. Alright. There we go. Problem averted. We are all set, and our oxygen is back to where it should be. There's a mining carriage down there. Don't really need it right now. However, once we get this grinding ship online, we can certainly take mining carriages, because we can certainly use the resources. Alright. And as you can see, this thing's already starting to tip in all sorts of odd directions. I'm going to have to turn the braking torque up to maximum. Alright. I do believe we're going to need more computers imminently. So that's just about all we need, and steel plates. Computers and steel plates. Let's grab those, and then we can actually start fiddling around with the robot arm itself. So, we need computers. Where are you, computers? Doesn't show up. There we go. And we'll grab you. We also need all the steel plates. And I don't think we have any left, do we? Nope, no steel plates left, so I'm gonna have to make some more of those. 1,000 should be adequate. And I'll just have it make a whole bunch because we need a whole bunch. Alright, there we go. And I think we're gonna be set right now. We'll have to come back for more steel plates later, but we should be able to make most of our important parts, such as rotors, right now. So this is going to be rotor 1, this is going to be rotor 2, that's going to be rotor 3. So that's going to be the x-axis, y-axis, and there's going to be z-axis up here. Or C-axis, as they sometimes call it. And yep, more steel plates. So that's pretty much what we need right now, are steel plates. Looks like we have everything else that we need. Just some steel plates and this thing will be done. Alright. I think I'm just going to jump cut until we're done. So I'll see you guys back in a bit. Alright, all finished. So there's our wonky looking arm. Right now it's all crooked and stuff because the motors aren't really turned on or anything. So let's go into our command center and let's start futzing around with it. I think our number one priority is going to be turning on the braking torque so it doesn't accidentally crash into the deck of our ship. But after that, we're going to start setting up some commands so that we know how to, well, command it and to use it. So close that. Probably take off our helmet. Oxygen's high in here. I better remember to turn that back on. Anywho, up we go. So here we are. Let's go into our control panel. Let's look at our rotors. So these are all of our different rotors. We're going to want to change these. Braking torque is going to have to be all the way on. Velocity, we don't want any velocity, otherwise they all start moving in random directions and it'll tear itself apart. Alright, so that's all set. So this is going to be... They actually don't have numbers, do they? And there we go. So we can move this ship around now with the braking torque and it doesn't actually destroy itself, which is good. Now, let's look at... Let's see here. We want our advanced rotors. We're going to place rotor 1 in here. We're going to increase velocity. And this one, we're going to decrease velocity. Where's decrease velocity? Right, there we go. So what this is going to do is this is going to allow us to... This should be the first one. Okay. There we go. And there we go. So that's essentially how it's going to work. We're going to have a whole bunch of these different different things that have increase and decrease velocity. So which one is that? That is the middle one. So we actually don't want that one quite there. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that there because we want 1 and 2 to be our first one, wherever that is. So and then we want this one to be our second one. Oop. So we want this one to be decrease velocity. All right, let's see what this one is. Increase velocity. Which rotor are you? Decrease velocity. Okay, so this is the correct way to do it then. So we're slowly getting control. Alright. I think this is going to work out well. And now we need to control the other one. So let's put you here. So increase velocity and decrease velocity. So, okay, that's actually the wrong one, but let's make it go really fast. Okay. And we'll stop that right there. Let's get this properly set up. So this one's actually going to be there. Increase. Decrease. And this one is going to be this one. Everything will correspond. All right. Not increase lower limit. We want increase velocity. There we go. And decrease velocity. All right. So I think it's safe to say we can take this for a little test drive. Let's see if we can't move something close to our grinders. Also, one more thing that we need to do. We need our landing gear. Landing gear, put that there. We're going to toggle that on and off so that we can clamp things. Right now it's we're gonna toggle it off. Actually, let me look at that one more time. Don't know if we chose the right one. Landing gear, we want to switch lock. Lock, unlock. We want that to be a toggle. Switch lock, that's what we want. There we go. All set. Okay. Actually, you know what? This episode is kind of going on pretty long, and I have to go to work. So, unfortunately, I think we're actually going to have to call it an episode right here. Next episode, we're actually going to grind something with this cool, badass robot arm. So, thank you, folks, for watching. Ow. And I will see you guys next time.